It's wild that that text was written in 1993, set in 2024, and it talks a lot about politics and destruction and community and war and the ways in which systems make it difficult to live, but also try to normalize suffering. Baby. This is my week 3 75 soft challenge recap and reflection video. So to me, week 3 was more so remembering lessons in regards to how to meet goals when things don't go according to plan or scheduling shifts. So one of the days in this week, it was an errand day, but instead of starting off my day drinking water, I just went and ran my errand. So that meant I was behind the time I would like to have drank a certain amount of water during the day. So for me, not meeting that goal was a reminder to, one, give yourself grace, especially when you're doing something new, reminding yourself that this is your first time that you've done the thing, that you're being the thing, and especially if you did not have a model of how to be or do that thing, is just to extend self-grace. So within that, for me, it was also just a lesson learned or remembered that if I have a long day in regards to like running errands, things to do, to be sure that I start the day with water and that I don't skip out on having a light breakfast, so that way I can kickstart my system. So in eating healthily and getting 45 minutes workout daily, one of my workout days is a high intense day, and realizing that my body was taking too long to rebound or replenish, whatever the proper word is, and feeling as though I needed to be mindful to take in more protein and nutrients before I did the workout and after I did the workout, that way just helping my body to replenish itself. So what I did was purchase more protein powder, and I like to make fruit smoothies. Sometimes I will put like spinach in there, super greens, hemp seeds, so that way I am giving my body what it needs if I know that I'm going to have an intense workout the next day, and also following up with a protein shake, so that way I'm helping my body to build those muscles or do the things that I set out to do with the workout. Another thing in regards to eating healthily was eating more salads for lunch, making sure that I have like high healthy fat, so avocado. I'm a person who likes avocado, putting nuts in there. One of my go-to is hemp seeds, and just eating the rainbow, as they say. I have been mindful to implement throughout the week is to make sure that I'm getting a nutrition-packed salad for lunch. I was able to finish reading Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower, but the graphic novel version of it. And what really stood out to me is that, well, many things, but the main protagonist, it's almost like a coming of age story without her signing up to come of age per se. And I was reading this book and thinking, even though this is like a dystopian genre novel, sci-fi, Afrofuturism, like there's so many genres that intersect with the Parable of the Sower, that it seems a lot like real life. And that's scary to say, but it's also really honest to say if you are someone who sees a lot of the global politics. They live in a dystopian world, but it seemed very reflective of a lot of the conflicts and the ways in which people are forced to live in 2024. And also the novel begins in 2024, even though it was written in 1993. So the protagonist in the novel, Lauren Olamina, she becomes a beacon of hope and light and also change. And a lot of the novel has to do about the conversations in regards to community co-creation in difficult times. And for her, it was creating a new religion, Earth Seed. It was really fascinating the ways in which she defined God, community, who was allowed to be a part of the community in times of war. Probably there has always been a global conflict occurring from 1993 to the present day. It's making me think a lot about the ways I live out community. And if you're a person of faith, practicing a faith, or see yourself as someone who is spiritual, the conversation that she's having about we define God, who is God, who isn't God. And if you haven't read Octavia Butler Parable of the Sower, I definitely highly recommend if you're a person who is into Afrofuturism, sci-fi, if you're someone that even studies theology, or if that's a hobby, if you are a person of faith, because it really makes you question and think about how do we practice and show God on the daily in the midst of all of these systems that tell us otherwise, but yet claim to be inclusive about choice and faith. So I plan to read the novel and then to continue to read more. Perhaps in 2025, that will be my theme, to read sci-fi or Afrofuturism, since this year I focus on reading Black women's memoirs and autobiography. I'm currently reading another memoir. It's wild that that text was written in 1993, set in 2024, and we are in an election season, and it talks a lot about politics and destruction and community and war and the ways in which systems make it difficult to live, but also try to normalize suffering. Baby, that book is a definite page turner. Definite something that will have you in a self-reflective mode if that's your jam. Another thing that I was able to do this week was to go to a market that had local produce in the DMV area. It was my first time going to the market, and it was a pretty cool experience, especially considering that it's around the holiday seasons now. So I definitely plan to make the market a part of my regular grocery run list. This is also Halloween season. I feel as though compared to when I was growing up that Halloween has become a larger thing. And thinking about decorations, like I feel as though folks decorate their lawns way more extensively and earlier in the season. So I was able just to see some of the Halloween decor that was in Target and on people's lawn, which was cool. I also got my Halloween candy for the trick-or-treaters. But even in recent years, I think perhaps since COVID-19 that there are a lot less trick-or-treaters. I got lots of candy, and thinking about eating healthily, I am normally someone who looks forward to whatever candy is left over. I put candy off to the side. But this year, the candy shall be sitting there because a part of my eating healthily is to reduce added sugar. And a lot of the Halloween candy has loads of sugar, so have a lot of candy left. This week I also just continued to get in my morning walks. The cool thing about a lot of the neighborhoods is the book houses. So you can deposit books, get books, etc. And I was able to pick up a book on my morning walk. So after I get through my reading list for this year, I intend on checking the book out, also putting some books in there. Thanks for being a part of my community. I have some folks that made the McGriddle sandwich, like their versions of it, and a homegirl who is currently reading Sisterhood Heals by Dr. Joy. So I appreciate folks who have joined in the ways that they would like to join. So the sun is setting, and I'm grateful that I have completed week 3. If you are doing anything that's new or practicing refinement, I hope that you grant yourself some grace and that you remember if you're doing a new thing, it's your first time doing a new thing. So as always, love is real and eternal. In community, peace.